Hello, my friend. I'm so excited to dive into this week's podcast episode for you on this month's astrology. It's going to be an exciting, drama filled month with a Mercury retrograde happening this month. I will be sharing the major transits of this month for you. I will also be going into the transits of this week and the new moon in Leo chart. I'll also be diving deeper into this particular Mercury retrograde because it's going to be a bit spicy, yet it's going to be pretty fun. And then I'll also be talking about your chart ruler and how this might affect your relationships. But I'll share a personal story on how it affected my relationships and my lessons this lifetime. I will then end off this podcast episode with a tarot reading of what energy to embrace, what energy to let go of. So let's just dive right into it. Let's go through the major events happening this month. On August 4th, we have a new moon in Leo. I'll dive deeper into the chart for this new moon in Leo because it is an exciting one. So stay tuned for that. On August 5th, we have Venus entering Virgo. And then what's also happening on August 5th is Mercury begins its retrograde in the sign of Virgo. Then on August 15th, Mercury leaves the sign of Virgo and retrogrades back into the sign of Leo. Now, mid-month, I do want to caution you that will be the most intense astrology with Mars square to Saturn on August 16th and then Jupiter square to Saturn on August 19th. It won't be as intense as the Mars-Uranus conjunction that we had last month. However, I just want to give you a heads up that mid-month would have probably the most intense astrology that you should be aware of. And I'll be sharing how to best use this energy later this month. So stay tuned for that. Then what's also happening for us on August 19th is that we have a powerful full moon in Aquarius. This will be a closing of a chapter in one area of your life. On August 22nd, Virgo season begins. And then on August 29th, Venus enters Libra, and this is going to shift our values in terms of how we show love and affection, how we approach relationships. So stay tuned for a full breakdown of that later this month. So that is the overview for the month. Mercury does end its retrograde on August 25th. And let's dive deeper into this specific Mercury retrograde. So this Mercury retrograde is happening from August 5th to August 28th. It's happening in the signs of Virgo and Leo. I personally think this is going to be the most fun Mercury retrograde. There's going to be a lot of drama, so I do want to caution you with this. And this could either be very, very exciting, or if you don't like drama, then this will be quite annoying. So it's going to be really interesting. With a Mercury retrograde in Virgo, this is actually quite lovely. Mercury does love being in the sign of Virgo. It's its home sign. It's its exaltation, meaning that it's not going to be as intense as other Mercury retrogrades. So from August 5th to August 15th, for those 10 days, Mercury will be retrograde in Virgo. So yes, be cautious of miscommunication, technical issues. Mercury retrograde does bring exes back from the past. Mercury retrograde also brings back old friends, old colleagues. In the sign of Virgo, however, I think a lot of past coworkers that you used to work with might actually come back in some sense. Maybe you reconnect in some way, or maybe you hear of someone. That could be a possibility. Not everyone's ex is going to come back. I do want to mention that. I will be posting your Mercury retrograde horoscopes for your rising and sun sign very soon, so stay tuned for those. Yet I also want to talk a little bit about why this may happen as well. Mercury retrogrades are a period of time when Mercury appears to be moving backwards in the sky. It's not actually moving backwards, it's an optical illusion. However, this is usually a time when things get delayed. You could experience technical issues. You're reflecting on the past, and We need these periods of time to rest, to recharge, to know that it's okay for things to take a bit longer. It's okay for us to recharge. It's okay that, a project takes a bit longer than expected. I would personally make sure you are leaving earlier for appointments during this time. There can be more delays in terms of traffic. There can be more delays in terms of work situations, and also a lot more miscommunication in terms of relationships. Now, with a Mercury retrograde in Virgo, you could be rethinking your routine, health, and schedule so much more. This might be a time when you're trying to figure out, okay, do I actually feel better sleeping in? Do I need more time to do more self care? Do I need to change my environment? How can I best work day to day? What does my dream routine look like? How can I better take care of my health? These are going to be really important questions to ask yourself. Now, after August 15th until August 28th, Mercury will be retrograde in the sign of Leo. This is where things can get a bit more exciting, a bit more drama filled. This could be a time when you reconnect with old friends. This could be a time when you really try to find more joy in your life. A Mercury retrograde in Leo loves drama. It loves to play. It loves to be the main character. It loves to initiate some drama. And this could actually be really fun. So I actually really am excited for this Mercury retrograde. As a Leo, I think it will be a great time to reconnect to what did you really love doing as a kid? What brought you joy? This could be a time when you hear of dating flings as well, or people you went on 1 or 2 dates with. This could be a time when you are really trying to assess who you are, what makes you you. A lot of self-reflection could happen during this Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun represents our identity, our sense of selves. And this could be a really good time for you to see, okay, am I living for myself? Am I excited to do what I love every day? Am I doing what I love every day? How can I do more of that? This is actually going to be a really good opportunity to reflect on who you are, discover more about yourself, and really take yourself back to what did you really love doing as a kid. I do think we're going to have more parties during this time. I think we're going to have more reconnection with old friends. Maybe you see friends from high school. Maybe you see more children in any sense. So you might be rethinking the idea of children during this time, or you're taking care of children, or you're just trying to figure out how can you bring in more play into your life. So this is a very exciting Mercury retrograde. I do want to caution though that with a Mercury retrograde in Leo, with that drama, this can be a bit more intense. This is a bit more passionate. This is a bit more fiery. So when miscommunication happens, people could get upset. People can get angry, right? So please be aware of that. Double check your emails, double check your contracts, make sure you're protecting your energy, and make sure you're setting boundaries for what you will and will not accept when it comes to certain relationships coming back into your life. So usually a lot of astrologers say your ex is going to come back during a Mercury retrograde, and this is and is not true. Maybe they do. Maybe it's just hearing about an ex. Maybe you are hearing from an old friend. Maybe you're hearing from an old colleague. Maybe you're hearing from an old boss. This is super possible. There's a lot of deep reflection on the past during this time. And in my Mercury retrograde horoscopes, I'll dive deeper into which specific signs will most likely hear from their ex or about their ex. So this will be super interesting. All right, so let's dive into the transits of this week, but also this beautiful, beautiful new moon in Leo. So let's start off with July 30th. Venus in Leo is trine Chiron in Aries, and this is actually a really lovely transit. This could feel very, very healing. we could feel as though we have more self-love, more compassion for ourselves. Maybe our friends are encouraging us to express ourselves even more. But I also see this energy as us really getting aligned and in tuned with the healing work we're doing to remind ourselves that we're worthy of more love, that we're worthy of what we desire, our dreams, our independence. So old wounds can come up at this time, but we're handling it in a very lovely, supportive way. So I love this energy on the 30th. It could just feel extra healing. Then on August 1st, the Sun in Leo is trine the North Node in Aries. So this is very motivational. We could just feel very, very inspired to go after what we actually desire. With the Sun in Leo, we're really focused on what do we want for ourselves. There's this huge focus of, am I showing up authentically? Am I showing up in a way that makes me happy for who I am? And with this trine to the North Node, we're seeking more fulfillment from our desires. We're seeking, okay, what would actually make sense for my life path? And there could be like a fated opportunity that guides us to that process. Maybe you discover a coach that could really help you through this. Maybe you see a job posting that you really want to apply for, and you're like, actually, this would be perfect for me. This could look like a few different things, but ultimately, this is helping you see, okay, what can I do to bring back focus to myself and my dreams, and what would give me the most fulfillment. Then on August 2nd, Venus in Leo is square Uranus in Taurus. So this can bring up some really shocking things for us in terms of our relationships and money. You could get a surprise expense during this time, or a surprise payment in some form. This can feel a little bit uncomfortable, so maybe it's something that you didn't expect to happen, but this is actually helping us understand our relationships in a different way. Maybe you meet a relationship randomly and it's very spontaneous. Maybe you bump into your best friend on the street. Maybe something happens with a friend and it does affect your relationship. This could look like a few different things. I do think finances could become an issue around this time, but it's something that you didn't anticipate. You can really use this energy to your advantage though by experimenting with an artistic medium. Maybe you try an art class or a dance class and you didn't think you would like it, but it actually was a good experience. Or maybe you try something new and you're like, okay, this isn't for me, but I stepped outside of my comfort zone. This is what this energy looks like. Then on August 3rd, Mars in Gemini is sextile the North Node in Aries. So how you take action and how you work is really feeling in flow. You could feel like a partnership. May this be a friendship or a coworker or a sibling relationship is helping you understand your path forward in life. So this could be a mentor, this could be a friend, this could be a sibling. Perhaps you have an interaction with them or you're working with them on something and it's helping you understand, actually, this is what I want to be doing long term. Actually, I need to prioritize myself more, and they're actually encouraging you to do that. So this is a really lovely energy. This just feels like a very smooth interaction. Now let's dive into the new moon in Leo chart for you. So this new moon is happening on August 4th at 7:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is one of my favorite new moons to manifest with, and there's just some really lucky energy with this new moon. So knowing how to manifest for it, definitely use this new moon to your advantage. Now this new moon is happening at 12 degrees of Leo and it's conjunct the sun in Leo. So the ruler of this new moon is the sun in Leo, and the sun loves being in the sign of Leo. It's at home in Leo. So already there's this emphasis on who we are, our sense of selves, healing our inner child, but also expression, creativity, passion, fun. So there's this new beginning in this area of life for you. Now, what makes this new moon particularly quite lucky is there's a sextile to Jupiter in Gemini. And there's also a sextile to Mars in Gemini. So there's some opportunities that are coming about with this new moon in terms of partnerships, specifically friendships, but also sibling relationships, potential work opportunities, collaborations. This feels really uplifting. This is giving us a really lovely boost to put ourselves out there and to have some really great conversations around creativity, self expression, art, and being seen for who we are. So there's a lot of motivation for this new moon. So you're starting a new beginning in this area, and you could be getting an opportunity in some form. Now, what's also really interesting is Venus is at 29 degrees of Leo for this new moon. It was just in a square to Uranus, and this actually can still be quite lovely. You can get a financial surprise. You can get a relationship surprise, and this energy could also look like having fun with a creative photo shoot. This energy can look like doing some crafts, expressing yourself in some way. Maybe you're making TikToks, maybe you are trying to experiment with what would you have fun with? What actually is really fun for you? Now, Mercury is in the sign of Virgo during this new moon, so we're having some really analytical conversations. We're really analyzing, okay, how can we take the best steps forward? We're planning ahead. We're trying to make plans, maybe with our friends. Friendships are heavily highlighted with this new moon. Now, what's also really interesting is this new moon is in a trine to the North Node in Aries. So something can feel really faded right now. Something can feel really energizing. You could just feel super motivated to begin something new that is a personal project or something that puts you in the spotlight in some way. There's this energy right now that whatever you're doing can bring you a lot more fulfillment, and it's just about putting yourself out there. It's just about being seen. New moons are all about new beginnings. So there's this really, really exciting opportunity with this new moon to put yourself out there, to see yourself in a new way, and to see who do you want to become. This is the new moon to embrace your main character energy. If you're confused about how to manifest for this new moon and how to use it to your advantage, then you can join the Moon Sign Creative Community for our New Moon in Leo event happening on August 5th. It's going to be so much fun. I have such an amazing community. Everyone is so sweet, so kind, so empathetic, so supportive, and we'll be doing a really powerful manifestation ritual to call in new energy, to call in whatever you're desiring. May that be a relationship, a job, more fun, more peace, more fulfillment. And honestly, this is one of my favorite rituals of the year. It's always so much fun. We'll be connecting to your inner child for this ritual. So come join us. I'll leave a link to that down below. We'll also be doing tarot readings, so that's going to give us some more clarity with this new moon. So I'm super, super excited. Now, going into the story for this week, I wanted to touch on your chart ruler and how this could affect your relationships. So your chart ruler is one of the most important parts of your birth chart. Your chart ruler shows you the major themes in your life. By understanding your chart ruler, you can understand what are the life lessons you're learning. And ultimately, by understanding this, it's helping you see how am I experiencing this through my career and my relationships. I'm going to use myself as an example, yet I go through this in depth for each placement and each sign in my course, Shining as Your Authentic Self, which is my Astrology Foundations course. Now, for myself, I'm a Libra rising. If you are a Libra rising or a Taurus rising, Venus is your chart ruler. And with Venus being your chart ruler, you're learning lessons around your self-worth, your self-value. A lot of relationship and money themes can be really highlighted for you. And it's ultimately helping you understand, are you choosing relationships to better your life? Or are you people pleasing? Are you doing enough self-care to prioritize yourself? For myself, I've seen this throughout my life where I would over prioritize a romantic relationship, and this ultimately would burn me out. This ultimately would cause me to ignore my needs and what I needed for myself, my dreams. This also made me question my self worth and self value. It would ultimately make me discredit my experience. It would make me question my sense of worthiness. It would make me question why I am doing certain things. Because if you have Venus as your chart ruler, you're learning a lot when it comes to, am I doing this because I want to do this, or am I doing this because I want to make that other person happy? Now, this really affected my relationships because it would get me into codependent relationships. It would make me really question how much money I should be earning. It would make me question how much I should charge for projects. It would make me question a lot in my life. And by understanding my chart ruler, I have Venus in Virgo retrograde in my 11th house. And this is me learning a lot of lessons around what love looks like to me. If you have Venus as your chart ruler, you're understanding new lessons around love. What makes you feel loved? How do you want to feel loved? So for me, constantly, when it came to past relationships, past exes, it was always me questioning my self-worth and self-value. I thought they didn't value me. I thought they wouldn't fight for me or stand up for me. But ultimately, I started to realize, based on this theme, that the reason why they're doing this, the reason why they're acting in this way, yes, of course, they're different people and everyone's going through their own thing, but also I wasn't valuing myself. I wasn't prioritizing myself. I wasn't fighting for myself. And it's a huge, huge lesson if you are a Taurus or Libra rising. Now, for example, if you have a Mars chart ruler, relationships are still going to be a lesson you're learning, but you're learning more so how to fight for yourself. You could be learning who to cut out of your life. You could be learning how to move your body, how to initiate certain situations, how to fight for what you actually want, right? Mars is the planet of action. It's how you pursue in relationships, and it ultimately helps us understand our motivation for life. So, understanding your chart ruler can really help you see, what am I learning this lifetime? How can I stop getting into the same patterns? How can I stop getting into the same relationships? There's so many points in your birth chart to look at family patterns and relationship patterns and career patterns. I have a whole course on this. If you're curious, if you're interested, check out my Astrology Foundations course, and I'll teach you how to read your birth chart. I'll teach you how to become your own astrologer and really dive deep into using astrology to your benefit, to enrich your relationships, to enrich your career, and to do more of what you love. Yet, what I really hope you take away from this is a deeper understanding of looking into your major themes. I do have a video explaining who is your chart ruler, and I also have on YouTube videos for your Mercury sign, your Mars sign, your Venus sign, so you could check those out. Those would give you a really good overview if you're just curious. And for me, learning astrology has really transformed my life in such a deep, profound way, because it's helped me understand harsh breakups and why they had to happen. Even if you love a person, it's knowing that sometimes love isn't enough. It's knowing that maybe a relationship is a karmic lesson. It's knowing that maybe it's helping you get closer to your sense of self. Because ultimately, relationships help us grow. Relationships help us understand ourselves in a deep, profound way. Relationships are mirrors to ourselves. And the reason why your chart ruler is so important in your birth chart is because when you understand the major themes of this lifetime, that's when you start to see the patterns in your life so that you can anticipate them, so that you know what to change, so that you can feel more at peace, so you can feel more loved, so you can attract the relationships you want, because you're focusing on what's working for you. You're focusing on your strengths. You're focusing on what's going well in your life, and you're knowing which challenges to avoid. So I just want to share that reflection with you. And if you want my perspective on your birth chart, I do have just a few spots left for birth chart readings in August. So I'll leave a link to that down below if you want to explore your relationship patterns, career patterns, family patterns, strengths, challenges, blind spots. We can go deep into why a relationship had to end, what relationship is good for you, what career path makes sense for you, how can you feel more aligned, which routines would change your life, what practical things you can do to add more money to your business. Whatever you want to explore, this is your opportunity to do that. So I'll leave a link to that down below if you want to save your spot for August. And let's get into your tarot reading for this month. So the first card out is the Sun card. This is so lovely. This is honestly so rejuvenating. I love seeing this card in Leo season. We got this card last week. So the universe is really supporting us in Leo season. It's helping you shine. It's helping you see and get clarity around who you want to become, who you are, but also reconnect to your childhood self. This is such a great time for inner child healing and just doing inner child work, but also just to take yourself out on a date and celebrate how far you've come. Actually enjoy life. I think we can get so wrapped up in our routines and our schedules that we can forget to schedule in time to just have fun or just to be spontaneous during the day and really see the beauty of every day, really see how you can have more joy every day. So this is a good reminder to do that, to really focus on your creativity, your self-expression, and what would light you up. What do you actually want to be doing? The next card out is the Ten of Cups. So this is such a lovely card. This month, you're going to be reflecting on what do you actually want for the future? What does family look like to you in the future? Because sometimes we think it's the picket fence, it's, kids, the 9 to 5. Yet I always see this card as a new perspective is being presented to you. And this card is great to reflect on what would actually bring you more joy. What is your soul craving? This month is an opportunity to explore a different perspective and to see things in a new light. I also am getting the message that if you're looking at someone else's life and you're wondering, okay, when is this happening for me? When do I get the picture perfect wedding, the kids, the job I want? This is a card of you don't know what someone else is experiencing. You don't know the roller coaster that might be hiding behind that person's face. You don't know what someone else is going through, and it's really hard to distinguish this on social media or what someone just decides to tell us, right? So this card is reminding you to really focus on your own joy, focus on your own happiness outside of society's expectations, and how you can emotionally fulfill yourself right now without needing external validation, without needing that you need to look a certain way, that you need to have a certain thing. This is a card of completion, of this is coming to light right now, and this is going to bring me joy, and I'm going to focus on this. So this is such a great reminder for Leo season and for August. The next card out is the Nine of Wands. Okay, so what's really interesting is we're looking back this month. This makes sense with the Mercury retrograde. Something from the past is giving us anxiety. Something from the past is overwhelming us. We're feeling a bit on guard about a certain situation. You could feel like you have to defend yourself. You could feel like you need to be super cautious. With this card, just remind yourself to not get lost in the past. Most of the time, we're not really scared of a thing happening. We're just more so stuck in that anticipation of what could happen. So remind yourself that yes, it's really, really good to plan ahead, to be cautious, but don't let it overtake your life. Don't let it overtake your thoughts. If you feel like you're overwhelming yourself, make sure you're meditating, make sure you're journaling, make sure you're doing routines that really help you ground yourself. This card is reminding you that it's good to reflect and to see, okay, what did not work from the past, yet don't get trapped in it. Do not get trapped in a cycle. Really make sure you're taking yourself out of this. And what would help you the most in taking yourself out of this, other than grounding rituals, is action towards the future, but also giving yourself space to rest too. So, a balance between both is going to be really important, and making sure you're passionate about those things. The block that we have this month is the Ten of Swords reverse. So we're still releasing a lot from the past. This is past hurt, past pain, past anxiety, overwhelming thoughts. You could feel clouded in judgment. You could feel a little bit overwhelmed. However, I really do love that this card is a 10 and it's reverse, meaning that you've already been releasing this. You've already been doing the things you need to do to let things go. So, yes, some things are lingering on. Just know that it's okay. It's okay that they're lingering on, but make sure you are taking yourself out of a toxic cycle. Make sure you are doing things that nourish your soul, nourish your body, and ground yourself. But also, I highly recommend just writing out and emotionally dumping things onto a sheet of paper and burning it safely. There's just a lot of thoughts with this energy, and most of the time, it doesn't really help us. Having a clear head and making sure you're staying present is going to be so important during this Mercury retrograde. And I will say it is nice to get lost in nostalgia. It's nice to reflect on the past. It could be really fun. Yet again, don't get stuck in that space. Okay, your advice this month is I got the Lust card. So, overly romanticizing your life is going to bring you so much joy this month, right? So, daydream, make art, take yourself out on a date, go on fun dates, have fun with this energy, listen to really amazing music. This is the rose colored glasses type energy. So have fun daydreaming, have fun and relish the relationships around you that are showing you that love and compassion. Which relationships are really showing up for you right now? Prioritize those and prioritize the people who have your back, who are there with you. I'm hearing this message. The clarifier is the Hanged Man. So we're not going to take too much action this month. This is more so enjoying the month, enjoying the present moment. We're observing things in a new perspective. This isn't the time to do a lot. Do not overbook yourself. You could get disappointed that things aren't progressing as fast as you want. This is the month to reflect, to revisit, to revise. That's going to be super helpful for you. And your oracle cards are I have support. So just know that you are more supported than you think. Just know that you're being guided by your spirit guides. You have support from your spirit guides. And lean on the support from the people around you. Remind yourself that you have that support. The next oracle card is It is within reach. So, whatever you have been thinking of in terms of, okay, this is so far away, this is taking too long, this is so frustrating, it's so much closer than you think. As soon as you detach, as soon as you stop focusing on it, that's when things start to happen. So, a really good reminder. The last oracle card is Rest. So, remind yourself to take time to rest, recharge. We need this month, especially for this Mercury retrograde. So, I hope this helped, friend. If you'd like a private birth chart reading with me, or if you're celebrating a birthday and you want a solo return reading with me to get excited for your year ahead, check out my links down below. You can book a reading to plan for your year ahead, to get excited of what's in store for you and the major themes that will happen for you this year. And if you want to learn astrology and become your own astrologer, then check out my Astrology Foundations course, Shining as Your Authentic Self, From Misunderstood to Seen. This is the course for you if you want to dive deep into reading birth charts. And finally, if you want to manifest for this new moon in Leo, I'll see you for the new moon in Leo event, the Moon Sign Creative Community. Message me if you have any questions. I'm super, super excited for it. Happy August, friend. Happy Leo season. Happy start to Virgo season. I'm sending you so much love. Take care.